All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. About to hear Appeal 786, and this is it is 4:04 p.m. Okay, so just want to go through some information here. So Appeal 786, 1111 Sasco Hill Road. The owner of this property is David Horgan. The town valued this property at $15,447,236, and the appellant is asking for it to be reduced to $12 million. All right.
So, and we're actually going to revise our reduction to $12,200,000 because that's where our appraisal came in.
Okay, so $12,200,000.
Yep.
Okay.
I have an authorization.
So $12,200,000, not $12,200,000.
You're $12,200,000
okay.
as opposed to $12,000,000.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
All right. So.
And I have a authorization, an affidavit for you,
okay.
authorizing me to represent the owner.
All right.
And I have an appraisal for you as well.
So, all right, just give me 1 second here, all right? So, all right, and so can you just state for the record that David Horgan is the owner of?
Yep, he is the owner of the property at 1111 Sasco Hill Road.
All right.
The appraisal, which reaches about $12,200,000, it does so using a cost approach,
okay.
which is unique. We don't normally do that, but this is it is a unique home. It is not waterfront. It has a water view. It is a home that's well known in town because it was Mickey Herbert's home for many years. It is in the style of Shelburne Farms in Vermont, which is very beautiful but very unique for a home. Basically, it's like a multicolored wood shingle that makes it, it's not for everybody. It's the best way of putting it. It's very distinctive if you see it from the water in that instance. The clients paid $6.2 million for it in 2022, but they are doing a significant renovation that is 80% done. We think that the assessor's determination that it's currently, or was as of October 1st, was worth $15,447,000 is too high. And we believe that the cost approach really shows that the appropriate value is $12,200,000.
Okay.
That is page 4 of the appraisal. Detailed cost.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. So let me end this.
Sure.
All right. This is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is appeal number 787, and the start time will be 4:09 p.m. All right, and just to go through again, appeal 787. The property address is 140 Sunny Home Drive. The owners are Jeffrey Gardner and Nina Andreev. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The town's valued the property at $5,946,541, and the appellants are asking for that to be reduced to $4,300,000.
And I have an affidavit from Jeffrey Gardner authorizing me to appeal before you, appear before you, and I also have a copy of an appraisal by Daniel Conti that supports our argument.
Okay, and again, would you just state that the Jeffrey Gardner is the owner of?
Jeffrey Gardner is the owner of the property at 140 Sunny Home Drive.
All right, thank you. All right, and then, all right, so we have an appraisal. And all right. All right.
And, the appraisal is very straightforward. 2 of the properties are on Sunny Home Drive in that instance, and I think it does a very good job. And the other one's on 612 Penfield Road, so really not very far away at all. And I think it does a very good job of matching the fact that the price on this should be $4.3, not unlike 174 Sunny Home Drive, which sold for that amount. It was under contract at the time of the appraisal date. And so I think the appraisal on this one speaks pretty clearly for itself.
All right. So anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right, thanks. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It is March 17th, 2026. This is Appeal 791, and I'm starting it at 4:12 p.m. All right. Let's go through. Appeal 791, 178 Willow Street. The owners are Pamela Schurmeister and Everett Seymour, or Seymour Everett, which is it?
Everett Seymour.
Okay, all right. Town has valued this property at $3,257,143, and they're asking that to be reduced to $2,950,000. Okay.
I have an affidavit from Everett Seymour, who's the owner of 178 Willow Street, authorizing me to appear today. And I have an appraisal from Danny Bull that claims the property is worth $2,900,000, which is slightly less than our original application.
Okay, so let me adjust that then.
Please, thank you.
Okay, and then just, if you would, just again state that Mr.
Seymour
is the owner, please. 178 Willow.
The owner of 178 Willow Street. And I believe Mr. Bull has found us some really awesome comps on this.
Okay.
You know, the properties at 178 Willow Street, it's 3,640 square feet. 46 Willow Street sold in June of 2024, and it sold for $2,940,000. And it's slightly smaller, about 100 square feet smaller than my client's property in that instance. I think that's an excellent match. He also found a little more recently, we have 191 Main Street, which sold in September of 25 for $3,050,000. But it was in infinitely better shape, and it is a better location in that instance. So I think that Mr. Bull's comps really demonstrate out that this property is not worth more than $2.9 million.
Okay. Anything else?
That is it.
All right. Thank you. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 792, and the start time for this hearing is 4:16 p.m. This is Appeal 792, 2 Elmwood Drive. The owners are Jeffrey Rubin and Cynthia Rubin. The town has valued this property at $2,575,600, and they're asking that to be reduced to $2,395,000.
And we're going to revise that reduction to $2,399,000.
Okay, $2,399,000.
And I have an affidavit from Jeffrey Rubin, who is the owner of 2 Elmwood Drive, authorizing me to be here.
2,399. Great. So authorization?
We have no appraisal on
Okay.
this.
All right.
Mr. and Mrs. Rubin bought their property in July of 2021 for $1.55 million. Now they listed it in the fall for $2.5 million, and no one bought it. They've put it back on the market recently for $2,399,000, the exact amount we're requesting the reduction to, and I'm going to give you a copy of the Zillow listing page just showing that that's what they've listed it at. That being said, if they hadn't just listed the property for that price for sale, we would be fighting for a lower value, because when you look at the comps, 20 Elmwood Drive, this is all in the Southport Green area over there by Artisan. And, you know, when you look for comps, 20 Elmwood Drive, which is the closest comp, it's a January 6, 2025 sale. It's 3,336 square feet, which is, to be clear, that is 8 square feet larger than our client's condo. So they're the exact same size, but it sold for $2.2 million. And I do not think that it's gained, 10% in the last year. That being said, it it seems disingenuous in this instance to ask for more of a reduction than we're listing it for. So that's why we revised up to the $2,399,000.
Okay.
Another good comp is 49 Southport Green, which sold in November of 2024 for $1.9 million. It is slightly smaller than our clients, but it's a comparable unit.
Okay.
So I think those are both worth considering.
All right, thank you. All right, end this hearing. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It is March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 793, and the start time is 4:20 p.m. All right, so just to go through again, 793 is the appeal number, 210 Sasco Hill Road. The owner is Harborview LLC, or Harborview 55 LLC. Town value this property at $10,487,512, and the ask amount now is reduced to $8,400,000.
And we're going to revise that to $7,750,000.
$7,750,000.
Yep.
Okay.
I have an affidavit from Sonia Gardner, who is the sole member of Harborview 55 LLC.
Okay.
And Harborview 55 LLC owns 210 Sasco Hill Road. And I have an appraisal from Paul Isolda that demonstrates our value. What makes this property unique is if you're standing on the bridge in Southport Harbor, it is just on the east side of the bridge, and that bridge has a significantly busted dam. And so our clients at 210 Sasco Hill Road have been living with, for the past year, all sorts of interference and debris from the destroyed dam. And it's visual, and it also smells. And that has become a huge issue for the property to deal with in that instance. It is something that is going to cost the owner of the bridge property millions of dollars, and the town is getting involved, and I don't know that it's going to resolve anytime soon. This is obviously a very nice property. It is waterfront. It is a very steep hill down to the water. But I think that Mr. Isolda has done a very good job of pointing out in his appraisal that it is not 385 Harbor Road, which was across the street and sold for $15 million, and I think messed up a lot of these comps. It is actually more akin to 290 Sasco Hill Road, which is right behind it. It's similar in size and land. It has a water view, so obviously it's worth more. But it is not worth significantly more than that home, which just sold last. They all put the dates in different places, which just sold last June for $7 million. So we believe $7,750 is the right value on this one.
Okay. You're saying did you say the 290 Sasco sold for
$7 million.
$7 million, and that
We believe they're virtually the same home, except that this one is on the water, so it should have an extra $750 value to it. Yeah.
All right. But the what was the date on that sale?
The date was June 9th, 2025.
All right. Okay. Thanks. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Thank you.
That's it. I told you we're
cooking. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026, and this is Appeal 794, and the start time is 4:24 p.m. All right, so again, this is 794. The property address is 1173 Sasco Hill Road. The owner is, Rigatoni Cottage LLC.
That's correct.
All right. The town has valued this property at $11,343,012, and then the appellant is asking that it be reduced to $10 million.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I have an affidavit from Emma Lasry, who's the sole member of Rigatoni Cottage LLC, which is the owner of 1173 Sasco Hill Road. I do not have an appraisal on this one. It is in the it's about 65% complete in the process of being built. It is a very expensive house, but I do believe that the town is $1.3 million too high on this. So you understand where the property is. If you drive to the end of Sasco Hill Road, the road makes a T, right? If you take a right like they're going to the beach, this is the last property on the left before you hit the beach. It is waterfront. it is a waterfront view, but it is not waterfront accessible. It is a very steep hill in the riprap. It's really no way of accessing the water. There is a very large conservation easement, which is on the field card, so the town's aware of it. There's a very large conservation easement across the front of it that would keep you from ever improving that waterfront to make it waterfront accessible. The other challenge with it is you've got, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, you are looking at a very busy beach with a lot of cars that are coming and going. And I don't believe that any of that has really been considered in this. In my process of trying to do these appeals, what I keep looking for is what is the sale that blew up values on certain streets. For example, Harbor Road, it's 385 Harbor Road, and went for $15 million. We did the transaction. I understand that that's why everyone on Harbor Road ended up coming in high, because it was a unique home. On Sasco Hill, oddly, I think the property was 794 Sasco Hill Road. And I'm going to give you the field card just for this file in this instance. Even though it's the towns you guys have it. But what's so unique about 794 Sasco Hill Road is that it sold, forgive me, because I'm using this on a few different properties. It sold in January 25. It sold for $10,250,000, but it is only a 4,800 square foot home. But it's a beautiful French Tudor style home that's on the water side of Sasco Hill, and it looks across the golf course and the water as this big, beautiful, open view. Okay? I think this is the home that my client's home, when completed, is going to be the most similar to. Now, she has a larger home, but she doesn't have as pretty of a view, because she's not looking across this, world-famous golf course at the harbor and the ocean. She's looking across a beach, and frankly, because of the woods and the road, she doesn't have as wide of a view as this one does. But my other logic on that is she bought the home for $5 million. Now, admittedly, she did buy the home she bought the land for $5 million. And admittedly, she bought the land from her father and her aunt. So the town has come in, and since that wasn't arm's length, and the town has come in at a value of $6.387 for the land, I'm going to accept that value with that. But that means that with the home being 65% complete, and the town thinking it's 65% complete, it's worth 4.9. That means the town believes the dwelling is going to be worth 7.6, or the whole thing is going to be worth $14 million when all is said and done. That doesn't really, 794, which is such an outlier, given it's the size of the house, it's just too high in this. The other thing is, when we look at this, based on the building permits, which are very accurate, she's putting $7 million into building the home. And no one ever gets more return than what they spend on building their own home. So all in all, if we take the town's value at 6.3 in the land, which I am, because her purchase is arm's length, even then, if she got the full value of the $7 million, we'd be dealing with a $13 million home when it's done. And that just doesn't work. Looking at 794 Sasco Hill Road, that home was sold for $982 a square foot, which is astronomical. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But if we assume that Miss Lasry is also going to be able to create something $982 a square foot, then she's going to be, looking at a $7.3 million dwelling on a $6 million piece of land that still comes in at $13 million, which is below the town's projected $14 million. That's all I have on that one.
Okay. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. This is Appeal 795. It's March 17, 2026, and I'll be starting the hearing at 4:30 p.m. Okay, so this is for 1211 Fairfield Beach Road. The owners are Matthew Sevick and Christine McGill. The town's valued this property at $2,343,569, and the appellants are asking for that to be reduced to $1,950,000.
And I have an affidavit from Matthew Sevick, authorizing me to be here. Matthew Sevick is the owner of 1211 Fairfield Beach Road. And I have an appraisal from Danny Bull for $1.95 million for this property.
All right, so are you adjusting then the request value?
Isn't 1.95?
You said, okay, I thought you said.
I think this was.
Okay, yep, okay, yep.
And I think Danny, who I've really been impressed with a lot of his work this year, I think he's gone spot on in the fact that he has found 4 comps, all on Fairfield Beach Road, all with sales in 2025 or 2024 to justify his belief that this property is worth 1.95.
Okay.
Yeah, the most expensive sale he's compared it to is 1141 Fairfield Beach Road, which sold in July of 2024 for 2.25, but it is in better condition. It's in good condition. It is 300 square feet larger. And I think that when you adjust 1211 Fairfield Beach Road compared to 1141, you come up with a value that's 1.9.
Okay.
However, the one that's probably the closest is 2087 Fairfield Beach Road, which sold in November of 2024, and it is 400 square feet larger, and it sold for $2 million. So I think when you correct on that, you get 1.957, and I think that's where we're at here.
Okay.
That one speaks for itself.
All right. Thank you. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. This is March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 796, and the start time is 4:34. All right, so this is Appeal 796 for 203 Lovers Lane. The owner of this property are Kyle and Danielle Astle. The town's value of this property, $142,516, and they're asking that to be reduced to $625,000.
And we are going to revise that request to $585,000.
500.
I have an affidavit from Kyle Astle authorizing me to appear. Kyle is the owner of 203 Lovers Lane. And I have a comparative market analysis prepared by Todd Turcotte at Milligan Realty. And I'm going to submit that as well. This is, I reviewed this in detail, and I thought Todd did a really good job with this. If you go to the last page, you'll see he recommends the price for it to be sold at would be $585,000. On the second page, second to last page, excuse me, he lists a range for what he thinks the home is worth, and he's between $479,000 and $648,000. But he really believed that the middle of that was $585,000.
Okay.
And he lists several comps in desiring this price. And I will say, he's not an appraiser, he's a realtor, but this is much more readable and digestible than a typical appraiser form. But I think, you look at, he's got plenty of comps here, from 378 Castle Avenue at $479,000 to 325 Hunyadi Ave at $525,000. He's actually got 4 more comps. 6. He's like, 8. He's got 9. He's got 9 comps. I think he does a really good job with this.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 797, and the start time is 4:38 p.m. All right, so this is Appeal 797 for 60 Arrowhead Lane. The owners are Bianca Slade, trustee for the Bianca Slade Trust Agreement. The town has valued this property at $1,121,946, and the appellant is asking for that to be reduced to $770,000.
That's right. And I have an affidavit from Bianca Slade, who's the trustee of the Bianca Slade Trust Agreement, which owns 60 Arrowhead Lane, and that authorizes me to be here today. I'm also going to submit an appraisal by Robert Petrucci for showing the property to be worth $770,000 as of October 1st. I'm also going to share a slide deck prepared by Bianca Slade that has some very nice photos of the property. 60 Arrowhead Lane is in the area of town that is, I think, still called the Indian Village, but it is north of Lake Mohegan and on the east side of Black Rock Turnpike, and has the Native American street names in that instance. Ms. Slade purchased this property in 2020 for $444,000. So the town has come to the conclusion that the property has almost tripled in 5 years, which she was very surprised by in that instance. She has not made any significant improvements to the property. Mr. Petrucci's appraisal, which comes in at $770,000, is based on some solid comps in the neighborhood. The comps are on the front page, but 511 Winnapaug, which sold in April of 2024 for $875,000. It is almost 50% larger than Ms. Slade's property. 60 Arrowhead Lane is only 1,300 square feet. So it is somewhat surprising that the assessor would find that a property that's 1,300 square feet right off of Black Rock Turnpike is worth almost $1.2 million. That is rather surprising. Another excellent comp is 80 Sassaquan Road, which sold for $840,000 in January 2025. It is also 50% larger than Ms. Slade's property. Ms. Slade also prepared her own slide deck, which I bring here, which really goes and analyzes a lot of the comps, but also explains her property. Explains she's got 4 easements across the property for town access. It's set upon ledge rock. It's very sloped. It has an old boiler, original metal windows, sliders. The driveway is 20 plus years old. The wood siding is very damaged. The home was built in 1961 and it hasn't seen any major upgrades since then. The other thing, I'm not sure of the value of this, but it's worth sharing. She did the unofficial appeal with Tyler Technologies, and they shared with her that they thought the most accurate comp for her home was 80 Cedar Road, which Cedar Road is technically northern Southport. It seems like a really weird comp for this. But either way, it sold for $860,000, so I found that very curious and at least worth sharing for discussion purposes.
Okay, yep, thanks. All right, anything else on that?
Nope.
All right. All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 798, and the start time is 4:43 p.m. All right, so appeal number 798, property address is 734 Saskowville Road. The owners are Robert Mead and Alexandra Catherine Luft, are trustees. Did I say that correctly?
You did, yeah.
All right, so the town's valued this property $8,883,555. The appellants are asking for that to be reduced to $7 million.
And I have an affidavit from Catherine Mead, who is the trustee of both trusts, and which owned 734 Saskowville Hill Road, authorizing me to be here. And I have an appraisal from Paul Isolda of 734 Saskowville Hill Road for $7 million. The clients bought this home for $4.2 million in 2020. We do not believe the value of the home has more than doubled in those 5 years. It has significantly gone up, I'm sorry, I think I misrepresented it, but I believe we actually,
Just make sure I'm reading this right. We're actually revising our number down to 6.5 million.
6.5.
After the home was inspected, we've come in at 6.5 million.
That's right.
This home, it's got considerable issues physically. It's got major cracks in its basement slab that will need to be addressed. It's an older property. The appraisal does a decent job of pointing out that bathrooms and kitchens, while they've seen some love, they're in best and average condition and over 10 years old. I do think this is a property that was really affected by the high sale of 794 Sasko Hill Road. And the appraisal talks about the fact that it's far outside the range of everything else that's out there. More accurate comparable sales are 290 Sasko, which sold for $7 million, and 665 Sasko, which sold for $5.75 million. Both those sales were in 2025. And then when adjusted off of those sales, we come in at a value of $6.5 million.
Okay.
794 Sasko, once again, it's a 4,800 square foot home that sells for $10.25 million. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it really skews a lot of the comparables way up.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. This is Peter Ruper for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 799, and the start time is 4:47 p.m. Okay, so again, Appeal 799, 216 Farmstead Hill Road. The owners of this property are George and Catherine Reese. The town's valued their property at $1,952,300, and the appellants are asking for that to be reduced to $1,665,000.
And I have an affidavit from George Reese authorizing you to be here. George Reese is the owner of 216 Farmstead Hill Road. And I have an appraisal from Eiley de Bonaventura proving the value of $1,665,000. One thing that Ms. de Bonaventura identified is that the property is significantly different than the assessment records. The assessment records show a bath count of 4.2. She only found 3.2. And the assessor records show an extra kitchen, which does not exist.
Okay.
She did a great job with comparables, and she found 265 Hillside Road, which sold March of 2025. It is about 275 square feet smaller than this property. It sold for $1,625,000. It is walking distance from this house. The condition is similar. 337 Hill Road, which is a long walk, but still very close, which sold in June of 2024 for $1,725,000. And it is in similar condition. And then 1841 Burr Street, which is also not very far from here, which sold in February of 2025 for $1.7 million. And it is, it is 1,100 square feet larger than this house. I think that proves out the value of $1,665,000.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. All right. All right. It is 4:49. I'm ending Appeal 799. All right. So my name is Peter Rupert, and I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. All right. Today is March 17th, 2026. This is Appeal 497, and I'll be starting it at 6:51 p.m. All right, and I just want to go through some information about your appeal. So this is, as I said, Appeal 497 for 637 Cedar Road. The owner is Ellen Jacob, trustee. The town valued this property at $1,101,200, and you're asking for that amount to be reduced to $750,000. Let's see here. So what do we say? 60. More. All right. And Ms. Jacob, if you would just state, for the record, state your name and that you are the owner trustee of 637 Cedar Road, please.
Okay, yes, my name is Ellen J. Jacob. I'm the owner for 637 Cedar Road in Southport. Been there 34 years.
34 years,
Yeah.
wow. All right, so if you would raise your right hand, please.
Yep.
All right. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, so I'd have you just sign and then print your name below, please. Great, thank you. All right. So Ms. Jacob, this is going to be your time to, your opportunity to provide testimony and evidence as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2025 was $750,000 and not the value assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and just please try to be succinct. All right?
Okay,
All right.
yes. Andy, did you get a chance to look over anything? Or
I did,
Okay.
yes.
Because I want to give you something else now
Okay.
that hopefully makes it quicker.
Sure.
I felt bad that there was so much to go through. So it's based on two things. The land value. My land looks like it's almost all of the appraised and assessed value of my home with the reval. And according to, I did include the maps, but I'll show them to you again, the wetland map.
Mm-hmm.
I had two of them,
Yep.
one more recent than the other. So if you look inside the yellow rectangle,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that the brown area is wetland, and the area inside the blue outline
Mm-hmm.
is considered upland review area, which I was told by conservation that it's a mixture. So it includes some things for which you may have to get permission.
Mm-hmm.
My septic system is in the back where most of the wetlands are. But as you can see, there's a very small portion that's actually normal soil, normal, very small.
You said your septic is in the back, in the wetland?
Excuse me, yes, my septic is. So the whole value and the reason, one of the primary reasons my home is not improved after all these years is that you can't build on the wetland.
Mm-hmm.
Between the septic and the wetlands and the footprint of the house, there's very little I can do. So I haven't done it. And that leads me to the second part. It's also very hard to compare my home with the comps because there are very few split levels in my area. They're mostly colonials, I think, and capes and ultra-modern, modern. So the mid-century modern splits are rare, so I did the best I could.
Mhm.
So I had 3 comps, and that's where I was hoping to make it quick for you to see. This is now I'm checking on the basis of the home itself, the interior, and if you look at the comps, maybe we could just quickly go through it.
Mhm.
Okay, so my house is on top,
Mhm.
and I bought it in 1991. It's wood shingle, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. Original home, doors, windows, front entryway, stairs, walks, kitchen, everything, interior, exterior. It's basically the same. It's been maintained well, I think, but it's the same. Now, if you look at the first comp, which was 135 Warner Hill Road, it's mine's 1968 split, and this one's 1959 split. It was sold in 2025 for $1,335,000. It's a wood shingle, but it has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. It's got modern baths and kitchens. This is all from the field card,
Mhm.
which I did attach. Finished basement, enclosed porch, extra fireplace, solar panel, central air and gas heat, and its gross area is 2,992 compared to my gross of 2,888, not that different, but the living area is 1,979 square feet, and mine is 1,304 square feet. And then I added what the town values were for both. So that's not really apples to apples. And then the second comp is 79 Cynthia Drive. That's that's closer to the layout of my house. 79 Cynthia Drive, it's a 1964 split level. It was sold June 6, 2025 for $1,010,000. It's got vinyl siding, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, so more baths. It's modern, it's remodeled, it's beautiful. The exterior is all remodeled, new windows, the entryways, it has modern bath and kitchen, finished basement, raised barn, finished enclosed porch, central air, gas heat. It's a dream, and it probably is valued reasonably well. The third, if you want to turn the page, right. Third comparison is the third comp is on the bottom. It's a lot of it is interior though, so you can see. It's kind of embarrassing, but this is my house on top. So it has the half bath, the full bath. It's real 1968, as close as you can get it. It's the exact original. The kitchen also, I repainted. I put a floor overlay, but it's the same kitchen. The front door, the old front door, and the concrete steps, the wood tie, railroad tie steps leading up to the front are original also. So this one just because it had a lot of interior pictures and it's on Cedar Road, this was the third comp. It's 80 Cedar Road, and you see the description below the picture. So this one's a ranch. It's not a split level. It's 1951. This one sold a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, at least 10/31/24 for $860,000. This one is also remodeled with vinyl siding, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, more baths. It is It's also very nicely remodeled and has a modern front entryway. You can see on the middle picture on top. The kitchen is beautiful. That one's remodeled. The bathroom is a nice remodel. The bathrooms, it has a finished basement, central air, oil heat. And the gross area is, out of that small house, 3,000 square feet, and the living area is 1,417 square feet. And that one valued by the town at $956,700. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. The land is really off.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think the house itself is off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my
Okay.
That's my case.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for bringing in these comps. Right, and the maps are helpful to see. All right, so let me just explain then our process.
Okay.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll review your material more thoroughly, and all the Board of Assessment members have access to your file, so they can also, and they will also review your file, and then what we'll do is we'll deliberate and make a decision. And once we've made that decision, you'll get a letter within 7 days of that, an email and a letter, hopefully.
Yeah, the last one was.
Yeah.
Maybe the email is the better way.
Yes, the email would be the,
Yeah.
for sure. So if we do give you some type of relief, then you would not be able to come back until the next revaluation in 5 years to appeal again. If we deny your appeal, though, you can come back again next year and appeal again next year, all right? And then you do always have a right to, take it to court if that's what you feel like you need to do.
What would be the difference, though, between like this year and next year?
Well, I mean...
What would change?
Yeah.
I mean, because you still have to go back to the original reval date.
Right, that's true. You still do have to go back to that date. I mean, perhaps you find different evidence, that is more, more compelling, right? Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't want to, can't really speculate,
Yeah, no,
right? But yeah, it's a very good question. It's really a very good question. So, but that is your right to do if you want to appeal, and you can appeal, every year. I mean, if you were, continue to be denied, you could be, you could appeal 4 years from now and do it. Obviously, you'd rather do it and be successful, earlier in the process, obviously. So, but all I'm going to say is we are going to give you a fair hearing. We have people who are experienced and they're fair, and we'll, make our best judgment on this. Okay.
Will you be able to incorporate or?
Yes, I'm going to put this into your file. Yes,
Okay.
it'll be scanned in, and so it's available for everybody.
Because I think it's just easier.
Sure. Yeah. No, that was very helpful. Actually, it was very helpful. So we do, like I said, we do have almost 1,000 appeals. So pardon me.
So I won't expect to hear from you tomorrow.
Right. I mean, we are actually going to. We've already asked for an extension until May.
Wow.
And so, in 2020, during the last one, we had like 600 appeals, and we went all the way to the end of April. And that's when we finished that. This is 1,000, so we're going to be working into May for sure. So I can't tell you when we're going to hear it, but we will, hear it. I mean, it has to be. We cannot hear anything after May 31st. So we have to be done with our work.
They have to finalize the budget.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Thanks for coming in early. I'm going to end the hearing here. Okay.
Okay.
All right, this is Peter Rupert for the Board of Assessment Appeals. It's March 17, 2026. This is Appeal 826, and the start time is 7:22 p.m. All right. So So I'm just gonna go through a little bit of information here, just to confirm for me, all right? So this is appeal number 826. The property address is 649 Roland Road. The owner is Alice DeCenzo. DeCenzo, is that how I say it?
Yes,
Okay. all right.
DeCenzo, yeah.
DeCenzo, okay. The town valued your property at $1,290,587, and you're asking that to be reduced to $661,793.
Well, I'll show you my comps. And
Okay, sure, yep. But is that accurate, 66193?
Well, that's what the numbers
793?
came out to.
Okay, sure.
I did it right.
Okay. All right, so let me just change this here. Okay. All right, now, will you do me a favor, please, and just state, for the record, state your name, and that you were the owner of 649 Roland Road?
Yes, Alice DeCenzo, and I own 649 Roland Road, Fairfield.
Okay, and if you would put your right hand up, please. All right, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so
Yes.
help you God? Okay, so if you would just sign here and print below, please. Thank you very much. All right, so, Mr. Zenzo, this is your opportunity to provide testimony and evidence as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2025 was $661,793 and not the value assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and just try to be as succinct as possible.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's what I did. So
Yeah.
I wrote a new cover letter.
All right.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay,
I
great.
tried to make things more concise. So what differentiates my property is that it's impacted by wetlands across the entire backyard, 1/3 of the property, and I have some pictures I can show you here so
Okay.
you can see what happens with these
Okay.
low-lying wetlands.
All right. Now, are these pictures that are already in the file, or?
Yes, you have a copy.
Okay, okay.
This I will give you when you have everything else. you have a
Okay,
copy.
great.
Okay, so, I have photos, I have maps from Public Works, and this cannot be changed. So both side neighbors filled in illegally and left mine as a catch basin for water, but it is a wetlands, property. And so last year, the town, here's a map from the town. This was the wetlands before, and the town last year moved the wetlands line up to the front. So it was 1/3, and now they moved it up to the front. So this is, like an inland.
Upland review.
Yes, and I think it's on
Okay.
here, but, this is really a better picture. This was the ground line before, now it's, they moved it up. So you have this good map here to see. So I also have a 1953 Cape, which is not FEMA compliant. It's a tear down by today's standards. And I've attached similar capes and ranches, which I'll show you. I narrowed down to just 5. I had too many in there, but I think this will give us a good,
Okay.
and they all have lower assessments than mine, and they all have more property than mine. So the final thing I'd like to say is, I believe the condition should be at 50%, and on the field card, it's at 90%. So that's how I'm arriving at those numbers.
So you say at 50%
Yeah,
on the field
condition,
card?
because it's impacted by these wetlands, and I cannot change it, I can't fix it, they don't allow me.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna put these aside,
course.
and this I'm gonna give to you.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
So this is, you're giving this to me so I can put it in the file?
Yeah, I made it shorter, so
Okay.
my highlights.
Great, thanks.
This, I leave here, this is a map, so I took, so you could see it's all taken from my, these are the dots of the houses, which you have.
Mhm.
So then I'm gonna give you this when I'm done, I have a
Okay.
copy, but I narrowed it down to 5, and I
Okay.
averaged them, and then mine is at the bottom.
Okay.
So 431 South Benson, their assessment is 729,190, and you could see mine is at 903,411. The appraisal is at 1,041,700. Mine is 1290,587, like 300,000 more. They sold this on 12/17/24 for $1 million, and it's got 0.34 of an acre, and it was torn down. This is the property which you have in your file, if you looked up 431 South Benson, and this is a new house they built on the lot. So I'm just gonna put that over here, so if you needed to see, and that's the field card and the listing when it's sold. So the house also was much bigger than mine, but, you know, they knocked it down, which I think mine is a tear down. So then 294 Catherine was a recent sale, 12/29/25. The assessment was $690, it's a Cape, like mine, $696,360. Again, mine is $903,411. The appraised value from the town was $994,800. Mine is $1,290,587. So, you know, 300,000 more. We're both not FEMA compliant. It sold for $950. Again, 12/29/25. Okay, so that's Catherine. I'm going to just move that over, and I'm going to go to 610 Fairfield Beach Road, which is around the corner from mine. I'm on Roland. Fairfield Beach Road obviously is a better address. Everybody knows that. You know, it's got more cachet. And Fairfield Beach Road is closer to the water. It has 0.75 of an acre. It's 3 times my property, much bigger lot. Their assessment's even lower at $807,416. Again, I'm at $903,411 with a third of what the property they have in the wetlands. And their appraisal was $1,153,452. Mine's almost $1,300. And they sold it 7/12/24 for $1,275. Again, it's Fairfield Beach Road, and I'm not on Fairfield Beach, and it's not as big a lot. So mine is also impacted by these wetlands, so I'm thinking my value should be less. Now, the next one's 206 Quincy. Quincy, this property is on the corner of Roland. It's Quincy and Roland. Okay. The house is bigger. It's 1,860 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Mine is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. The lot is bigger, so they have 0.30. So that was an assessment of $864,560. Mine's $903,411. Their appraisal, it wasn't sold, but the appraised value was $1,235,086. Again, I'm over almost $1,300, but I think my condition should be at 50%, not 90%, due to the wetlands. So they had more square feet, more bathrooms, more bedrooms. They had a basement versus I had a crawl space, or that, I'm sorry, that might be the South Benson one. I'd have to look and see. So, unless they have the basement, I think it's the next one. Oh no, they have a basement. Yes, they have a basement. I don't. I have a crawl. And then I have this Cape on 330 South Benson. Similar to mine, it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I have 2 bedrooms upstairs. They have a basement. Their appraised assessment was $751,450. Mine again, over 9. And their appraisal was $1,007,350. Mine is $1,290,587, close to $1,300. And again, I believe that my condition should be reduced to 50%. Wetlands are really a big factor and a big impact. So when I got that number, I looked at what the town had, and if I did 50% of the $1,290,587, it came to the $628,793. I added the house, which is valued at $33,000. That's how I got $661,793. So I'm going to give you this because I have another copy that I think would help.
Sure.
And I don't know if you need more information, but I know the Tyler appraisal had called me about some other property on Roland, which was toward the Cape. And I looked it up. Well, they had a pool, an in-ground pool, was 235 Roland. And I think it's about $200,000 to put in a pool. They had more square feet, 1891, they had 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath.
What's the address on that one?
That was 235 Roland.
235 Roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, their assessment was 868,413 with a pool with 1891 square feet, which mine is 1726. Their appraisal was 1240590. Mine's 1290, but again, they had a pool. I figured it's 200,000 to put in a pool. The impact of the wetlands and my condition should reduce mine. So I just thought I would address that because he had mentioned it, but he didn't mention there was an in-ground pool when he called and told me about it. I looked it up, and they have 2.5 baths and 4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and you said Tyler mentioned that?
Tyler, and I called him, and I said, there's a lot of other factors you're missing here. So I think you have everything. I just gave you my summary sheet.
Sure. I'll just double check to make sure.
You should, because it's the same packet. I just gave you the 2 new ones. Check and see if you have the pictures. You do. You
Yes,
have the map.
that's the one picture. You have the map.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is getting worse because now they moved it up. So.
Yeah. It's that map right there. Yeah.
Just so you see everything
Sure.
within the neighborhood, close by. You probably have more properties. I just narrowed it down because when I wanted to do the average, I
Sure.
gave you the average of those,
Okay.
which I thought would help a little bit.
That's great. Thank you for doing that.
Is there anything else you need?
All right, so can I explain the process from here on?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I will take your information and I'll, look it over more thoroughly and bring your petition to a majority of our board. And we will deliberate on it, and they all have access to the same information, all right?
You could just tell I narrowed it down to
Sure,
so it didn't take all night.
Sure, thanks.
Because I did have, the other few tapes, but, 4 more tapes are similar.
Yeah, right. But so we will deliberate and then vote. And then, once we've made a decision, you'll get a letter and an email that explains our decision. If we do provide some relief to you, you would not be able to come back until the next reevaluation in 5 years.
Oh.
All right? If we deny your appeal, then you would be able to come back and appeal again next year if you wanted to. All right? And then you also have a right to bring it to court and appeal in court. All right? So that's basically it. We do have nearly 1,000 appeals, so we're going to be doing this until May. I mean, we have to be done by May. We can't go beyond May.
Okay.
But, we just let you know, like I can't say, we're going to be, hearing your appeal in 2 weeks. That's just not,
So
I don't know.
May.
Pardon me. Yeah, it's a hard deadline.
What's
So,
May what,
31st.
Oh,
31st,
okay,
yeah.
and then when does the mill rate changes? June?
After that in June, I think,
June.
June, yeah.
And the taxes
maybe end
come
of
out
June.
for July.
Probably, yes, yeah.
So how many people are
There
working
are-
on?
Well, we have 5 elected members, and then because of the workload of this revaluation, we were able to add a point for temporary. So we have 9 people altogether. Right now.
So you'll represent me because you have my.
Yes, but, everyone has the same information.
Yeah,
They
but
can
you
listen
will be
to
the
this. Yes.
speaker for it?
Right.
Okay, so I hope these things.
Yeah, no, that's very helpful, thank you. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yes, that's it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so, I think this was probably, the cover sheet, was my highlight points, and that it can't be fixed or changed.
Right.
And then here was this was averages up above, but this, was mine.
Sure.
And then I felt the wetlands were an issue, and that's how I came up with that number.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, yeah, thank
All right.
you.